she was visiting, and she was like, you could do that. And I was like, yeah, I could do that. And so I kind of got introduced, and I got, a shot at it. Like, I got some point shoes to just kind of play around with, and it worked. And so I'm actually really fascinated by the different brands and the different making techniques, the different materials they're using, the weight of them, the glue, like some glues. I don't know. I'm always about smells. Some glues they're using, it's just really kind of like, wow, this just smells so good. And it's just, it's just weird. You kind of like get really intimate with these new point shoes. And I would love at some point, if I could, I would love to go study with a maker who, who does point shoes. Like right now, they sent it to me new, and I make a template, and I put this rubber on, and I kind of develop my own technique on how to do that, because there's some satins that don't want to hold on to the glue, and there's like all these tricks to do. But like, I love problem solving. Like,
no, absolutely. Shoemaking is all about problem solving sometimes.
So I love it. It's just, again, it's a different slice to my pie of like surviving in New York City as an artist, as an artisan.
Absolutely. And speaking of that kind of like small business, what aspect of the small business do you love and then hate?
Well, I love that I'm independent. It's just me, myself, and I kind of like that about it too, and it makes me very flexible. I really kind of like everything. At first it was like, well, you just have to wear many hats, and so some people are really cut out for that, and for others it's really kind of like a nightmare. And I managed to file my taxes on time, and I used to do, when I was a fine arts artist, I used to, even beginning of shoemaking, I did bookkeeping for small businesses. Which I did.
You have like that math mind too.
Well, when I moved from Switzerland, somebody would have told me, you're going to do this. At some point, I'm like, wow, you must be kidding. No, there's no way. But I realized, like, I was very flexible in my hours again. And now it comes in handy. Although I think now I'm the worst bookkeeper ever. Like, I always wait to the last moment.
But you know how to do it. So you don't have to outsource.
I use QuickBooks, and it's just sitting down and do it, entering the numbers, which is really kind of mind numbing. Like, I really, but on the other hand, you have to do it because you need to see where you're at. I would really say that's like that bookkeeping thing, and like doing those things is my least favorite. I kind of sort of got into you have to promote yourself. That's really, so, some people are like, well, it's kind of like tacky, or it's like weird, like that you have to put yourself out there, but like you really have to, because
you do.
Without that, no one knows I'm here and I'm doing this. And even now, where it used to be, open a little shop and people would just like walk by and all that, that's a whole different, that's pretty much over. So you need to put yourself out there. Which I think the hardest thing for me is to balance. To balance, because you have all these other things you have to do. You have to do bookkeeping, you have to order material, you have to run after this one, somebody just stopped making those nails. Where do I get nails from now? Because, it's like just idiotic. And but you have to do it. And then you have to do the promotion, because it's kind of like so it makes your livelihood survive. So I think the really crazy thing is like, how do you balance all that? Like, how do you not end up, because like these computer things and these phones, they're just kind of like time sucks.
Oh, absolutely.
Before you know it. So I actually, right before I moved, I started to kind of put the phone into a drawer. Like
when you work?
yeah, and I'm just like, okay, I'll check email right when I get in the morning, and then, you know, and that's it. And then I'll put that bounce, like, or like you get an inquiry, and I was like, well, I have to write this inquiry, and then at night you're tired, but you still have to do that. It's like that's really the challenge for me, is like balancing this whole thing.
Besides, do you feel people got a little more patient with the email responding with this pandemic though? Like, and the speed of things, do you think things will change after this pandemic for you? Like,
I think you just have, like, what you have to, I basically, I started to say is, hey, it's just me here, and you know, I have glue drying, like, you can't expect me to reply to you. So basically I've been starting to tell people, like, it will take at least 24 hours for me to get back to you, because otherwise you just can't get anything
else done.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
That's then frustrating for them. Yeah. So like I think you what do they say? You reap what you sow, you know? So if you reply within 5 minutes all the time, they're getting used to that. If you just say, hey, you know, it's like bookkeeping and paying bills. If you just say, I'm paying bills on Monday, that's it.
Yeah, then that's it.
You know? So you have to wait. Yeah.
I feel like with this whole pandemic, the one thing is that like people are understanding maybe a little more and a little more patient about like not getting your package the next day, you know, or responses right away. I feel like the dialogue has started to happen again, like it should be, you know, it's not an expectation anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like, and I hope that, you know, everybody as well as myself or us makers can adapt, you know.
Well, I'm very optimistic. I am very optimistic, and I see other people have been like kind of had time to like think a little bit what's important to them, and how they, you know, that all these crazy stress levels that we're under all the time is not good, and that making changes might be a good thing. But we'll see what happens when this whole, you know, when the wheels are starting to turn again. Are we remembering what happened and what's really important, or are we just gonna get flooded with advertising to tell us how we should live our lives and what's important? I'm very positive. I just had a long talk this morning with my mom in Switzerland, and she was like, yeah, she has doubts, but she's been on the planet a little longer than I. So I don't know.
We'll see. Yeah,
history, you know, history tells us other things.
Yes. Do you have any shoes around you that you can show us a little bit, a peek of, or do you feel like you don't have much more time?
Well, no, I have some time. So the last one that I thought was really great were these boots that I made. I went to see my friend Janne in Sweden last summer. Is that already last summer, man? Like time
flies.
Crazy. Oh my God, it's crazy.
Is this for you? It's for you, your shoe.
Yes. So these are made because I wanted the chisel toe to see, and I've always been fascinated with the construction of cowboy boots and or pull-on boots, and but I wanted to make an old like a gentleman's boot, you know, like Bob Rommel, like how they wore the dandies wore these boots, and with like an 1-inch heel, like a square heel, and then a very like a tiny side seam, you know. So it's just a little bit of leather sandwiched in between. And I wanted to do the indigo dyeing on like the boot shaft because I love that it's you can control it only so much. Yeah. And so it's a pair, but not a pair. I've always been fascinated with that.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's my last, you know, really fun place. And then
is that the last that you made as well? The toe shape? Is it made off of the last?
No, this is actually, that's the last that Jana and I worked at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's similar, but it, I wanted to see how he just has this eye for shapes, and I just love seeing how, like, he, you know, it's just kind of like, we all have these things that we're good at, and he just kind of has this, like, he just sees the shape, and he's just kind of like, you know, and it goes really quick. Yeah, so it's made to measure last, but it's not the one that I made in the UK.
In Eastbourne. Okay.
Yeah, I'm still working on that. Like, the day has only 24 hours, unfortunately.
I can't think. I went to class 2 years ago. I made like a super light, quick fitter. Then I know that it fits my feet, but I haven't made a pair on it yet. And it's a shameful thing to say and admit, but I just don't have the time. But I'm gonna make time. Oh, I mean, and you reminded me, you actually broke your wrist one time, you said.
Oh yeah, that's how I started shoemaking.
What?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, well,
so it was actually somebody. My wrist. So my hand was on top of my wrist, and I already had put the deposit down for this cemented shoe class, and so I showed up with this cast from literally from here all the way to the shoulder. It was like this big blue crazy cast that I had to wear for 2 months.
Whoa, was that with Emily?
Yes. I remember I showed up with the first time we met at Kaufman's when it still was in the city. Yeah. And we were supposed to meet there to look at material, and I'm showing up with this crazy cast, and she's like,
yeah, you're trying to make
shoes? And I was like, yeah, I'm determined. I signed up, I paid for this, I'm gonna do it, even if I have to use my teeth. So she was like, okay. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
You motivate me that, okay, my hands can get better slowly, but, do you still feel anything? Any pain?
Well, so I definitely, I can do this with my hand right here, I can hold, but this one is kind of like, I definitely have, it's hard. So I have some flexibility issues, but one reason why I've been doing yoga for, like 8 years or whatever, it's to keep my hands very strong, flexible, and like do as much as I can so I can compensate with other things. And
to get back.
I use both of my hands. So I am not ambidextrous. I'm not born that way, but like I really, like, for the many years I use the pliers and the hammers with both hands.
Oh wow.